question. Ruth, where are you? Go, Ruth.
Last time, this year, I was inside the AGM, and for those of you who've never been to one of these shindigs, it's a huge hall full of thousands of people, and the executives, the ones with the great bonuses, the board members are up in front congratulating themselves on their fantastic profits. And we stood up last year, and we told them over 8,000 people that year had died from fuel poverty. And we asked them how many of those were British Gas customers. And they didn't answer, and this year it went up to 10,000 deaths. And that's not only because of energy prices, it's also because of welfare cuts, rising food prices, rising rents, falling wages. And it's not only the big British Gas, it's all the big six that are doing the same thing. They're all in it together. But British Gas itself is a scandal. And this year, we have people inside armed with what their customers are writing to us at Fuel Poverty Action. And I want to give you two examples from customers who've been forced to have prepayment meters, where you pay by putting money on a card or a key. Now, British Gas say they care about their customers, and they won't disconnect people. They haven't in the last 4 years. But if you're in arrears, they do force their way in and install one of these meters to make you pay in advance for power. And at the same time, like a loan shark, they take off your meter, the debt that you can't afford to pay. And when you can't afford it, the power just clicks off. Is that disconnection? Yes, that's disconnection. So one email says, I got behind on both my gas and electric with British Gas. They pushed me into getting a prepayment meter as a way of paying back my debts. They didn't tell me there were other options. There are. If you're ever in that situation, there are other options. She says, I now can rarely afford to top up the meter and heat my flat at all. I'm so cold all the time, and apparently there's no way of taking out this meter until the debt is paid. I don't know if I'll ever have it paid, as my condition has no cure, and I'll probably be on benefits forever. And another couple moved into a new home with their 4 children and found the meter had a debt on it already from a previous tenant. Until British Gas got round to resetting the meter, the family would have to put in £100 just to get £10 worth of gas, and £90 would go towards the debt. That's not unusual. The father of the family says, they left us 5 days with no gas and 4 children, a 4-month-old, a 2-year-old, a very sick disabled 4-year-old and my teenage lad. As you can guess, I changed suppliers quickly. British Gas are awful. Now, prepayment meters are a tax on the poor. You pay £100 a year more to get your power that way than you would if you were paying by direct debit, if you have enough in your bank. As one of the people writing into us says, what a con. We're paying for being poor again. 2 other people wrote in about how much they have to pay to these vampire companies. Even when they cut down their usage to practically zero, they still have to pay a huge standing charge. Another tax on the poor. One said, I'm a single mother of 4 children. I was forced to give up my job due to fibromyalgia. I'm now on benefits. We all have chest infections. We're cold constantly. I dare not put the heating on at all, yet I have a quarterly bill of £367. I have a small portable gas fire that we all sit round. I've never felt so ill or frightened in all my life. And another said, I'm a single father and a veteran. I only use a cooker 3 times a week. The rest of the time, this man washes in cold water and eats cold dinners, apart from the 4 days of overtime when his money's run out and he can't afford to eat at all. He says, now is the point where I have to leave my home and intentionally make myself homeless. I'm buying a tent and camping from now on. You should join Occupy.
Oh, yes.
Lonely Gypsy or something like that, he says. Something has to happen. You can say that again. The Big Six say they need their huge profits to invest in infrastructure. But what are they investing in? Fracking, which if they get it through is going to wreck the countryside, poison people's water like it is in the USA, and hammer a huge nail in the coffin of the climate. The government reckon they have the public on their side on this, because they've been telling us that going green is what's making us poor, and that solution is fracking. It's going to solve all our problems. But most people know better. We get emails like this. One says, I have no idea why the government thinks it's okay to dig oil or dump nuclear waste. The people are paying and the earth is paying. And another says, I have noticed how my fuel consumption is going down, but the price is going up. I would love to have a turbine. Where I live it's very, very windy, but I can't afford to buy one. There needs to be more put into schemes to help domestic users find a way of affording renewables. Now, most people know that we can't just keep pouring CO2 into the atmosphere. People can see climate change happening already in this country with floods and other disasters. There's no way to slow this down except by insulating houses and public buildings and using renewable energy. The UK is bursting with wind, even the occasional sunshine, loads of waves and tides. But everyone knows that British Gas and their cronies are not going to make that change any more than they're going to put freezing people above their profits. And in fact, thousands of people are locked into battle with these companies. That's why we're getting all these emails. So in lots of places, people and even some local authorities are starting their own power companies and cooperatives, or fighting to bin British Gas and the rest of the big six, and run energy in a way that's controlled by the people who need it. Because clean, safe, affordable, sustainable energy is a human right. That's why we're here.